Jenny, you're going to play first. And you are from, you go to Eau Claire, student of Krista's. Okay, good. And you're going to play the Vaughan Concerto. Any particular movement? Start at the top?
That's first.
Okay. And please play a few notes too. By the way, one second. This is, those that know me know my little trick. This is my little trick. Before I play, every time before I play, I take a medicine dropper and put water down the bottom of the board, like so. A big stream of water. The idea is that when you start to play, the water will join the stream and continue down the bottom of the board. It's sort of like when you're sitting in the back seat in your parents' car and it's raining. You watch those raindrops, and suddenly, as soon as they converge, they go straight down. You ever do that? That's before you had iPhones in the back seat. Like they get rid of the raindrops. So, anyway, my kids never look at raindrops. They're looking for fun. But anyway, but I have found since I've done this, I have reduced the water in my key problem by about 90%, and it doesn't seem to affect the active keys. The active keys you'll still get water in or not. But as far as like the left-hand keys, it really helps reduce it. You have to be very careful if you do that, not to hold your oboe key side down. That completely defeats the purpose. But you have now a stream that's down the bottom of the board, and it won't go into your tone notes. So, okay. You ready to go?
Yep.
Okay. Very good. Very good. That's scary, isn't it? Yeah. It sounded beautiful. One thing about the scary factor, and just about nerve factor in general. I mean, I don't know how many of you feel like you are debilitated by nerves sometimes. Or you're worried, what if I'm nervous? You ever worry about that? What if I'm nervous? Well, one thing about, because you seem like you're a little bit nervous, right? Okay. One thing to keep in mind is that nerves are not a character weakness. We kind of view it that way. We kind of view, oh no, I'm nervous. That means there's something wrong with me. What if I'm nervous? What if I'm nervous? And nerves are a sign of caring. Nerves are a sign of wanting to do well. Nerves are a sign of life. Dead people don't get nervous. and you feel a lot. And so I think you shouldn't. And then sometimes we get so worried about what if we're nervous, that the nerves aren't the problem, it's the anxiety about the nerves that causes the problem. So I think one thing is just accept the fact that you're nervous, that's good, that means you care about this. If you're playing in this class and you're not nervous, you probably shouldn't be playing the oboe. You know, if you feel like, well, so what? I could go to class, I could go to movies. Then you shouldn't be playing the oboe, right? So it's important that you be nervous, and you shouldn't be worried about it. You should just embrace it. But one thing you can do to combat the nerves is not look nervous. So if you have your elbows into your sides and you've been hunched a little bit like that, it's like a physical manifestation of your nervousness. Now, if you were, instead of being a modest person like you may be, if you were like a real cocky, annoying person, how would you stand? Be really cocky, like the kind that everybody looks at you and hates you immediately. How would you stand? Like just completely arrogant. Look at that. Okay, play this first phrase like that. To me, that sounds more confident, fuller, and you're getting more air through the oboe. And it's simply a matter of the body language. So I think if you stand or sit as if you're confident, it will help. You don't have to be confident, but if you look confident, it's going to help. Because the mind and the body are all interconnected. So it's like if you're feeling nervous, which we've already established is fine, but then you kind of shrink into yourself, the brain's going to notice that you're shrinking into yourself and it's going to say, what's wrong? You're feeling protective. And then we'll feel more anxious. When you're feeling more anxious, you'll tend to shrink even more. You see what I mean? It's kind of a cycle of shrinking. And if you can break the cycle by sitting with great confidence, as if you have no worries at all, your brain will calm down a little bit. Does that make sense? Okay. So, think about this piece. This opening has an awful lot of A's. You notice that? And if you play them all kind of the same, you could, like you're in this hell of A's. You get it? So I think in order to make this a little more interesting, I think you have to modify the A's. And there's not one way of doing it. There's lots of ways you could do it. Let's just try this. Just try once. We're going to go, see if you can go. So we went louder or softer. Good. Try that. Yep. It's kind of subtle. See if you can make it less subtle. Try this. Fantastic. Now try this. Any one of those ways is better than playing 1 3 seconds. So which one do you like?
The one getting louder.
Okay. So make sure then that the first one is soft enough. Can you try that? Try again. So let's make the A not the loudest of those 5. Make it the softest of those 5. Okay, try it from the beginning. Okay, excellent. Now do it again, now with your cocky demeanor, and just as convincing as that. Okay, so that works really well. So the second time when you want to do the same thing?
No.
What do you want to do? Okay, let's try that. So this time then you make sure the first one is louder. So you have room to get soft. Man, that's beautiful. What do you think?
Yeah.
It's okay, and then go on. Okay, so you have to figure this one out too. So do you want to go? Second one. So why don't you go crescendo there, so you arrive there and then back. Fantastic. That's really good. Do you like that? So the point is not that there's a certain way, there's the correct way to play the Vaughan Concerto, because there isn't. But I think it's just you have to keep it interesting for the listener, or they'll just get, I don't know, this piece, Vaughan Concerto, I often think it's like walking in the English Lake District in the fog. They say, is that a sheep? Or is that a heather? There's a sheep. Oh no, it's heather. it kind of just wallows a little bit. I mean, it's some gorgeous things in it, but it wallows. So I think in order to make it sound like the fog is lifting a little bit, it has to do more than just be nice. Does that make sense? Okay. So next question. And I don't want to, I hope I say nothing that contradicts anything you say. But
no, I'm sure you won't be able to do that. Okay.
Okay. So the next question is, how much reed should be in the mouth when you play? Do you ever think about that?
Yeah.
And you know why? Which what?
Like the more you put in the sharper.
Yeah, that's true. There's really two reasons why I think you should play on the tip of the reed. One of them is, yeah, you put more in your mouth, the pitch tends to go up, but it's really a matter of control. So you can all try this when you have your reeds on. But if you put your fingers on the very, very, very tip of the reed, just try that, the very, very tip of the reed. I hold the reed with one hand and use your fingers in the other. Yeah. And very, very tip of the reed, and gently, slowly close the opening. See how much effort that takes. No, put your fingers on the very, very tip. Now move it down like 2 millimeters. And what do you find when you close the reed? It takes more effort. Move it down 2 more millimeters. What do you find? More. So the more you bring your mouth, the harder it is to control it. And we're constantly manipulating our tips of our reeds. For dynamics, for color, for pitch. We're constantly manipulating the reed. If you have a lot of reed in your mouth, it takes a lot more work to get the same amount of manipulation. Does that make sense? That's inefficient. So I'm really big on efficient oboe playing. Less work, more result. You put a lot of reed in your mouth, it's more work, less result. Does that make sense? So that's one very good reason. The other, so it's like, yeah, the pitch goes up, but more, you have to be able to manipulate the pitch. But the other reason is a quality of sound issue. Like if I play on the tip of the reed, it's kind of creamy sounding. If I put a little more reed in my mouth, suddenly it sounds like I have an aluminum spine in my reed. You know what I mean? It's only the difference is the amount of reed in the mouth. Try that on G, F sharp, and E. Okay, so I think you have to just pay a little more attention. What you tend to do is you just kind of. Well, what are the chances you're going to get in the right place if you do that? It's slim. Just take a moment to set the reed on the tip of the reed, and then breathe. mouth and do it again. Voila. There it is. You see that? It's sharper, but it's more than the sharpness. It's hard. It's hard and metallic. And you will not find that many conductors that say, you know what I'm looking for? I'm looking for a hard and metallic oboe player. Where can I find one? It's not usually the adjectives that they use. So so on the same reed, same oboe, same you put less ring in your mouth, suddenly you don't sound as harsh. Does that make sense? So playing less ring in your mouth, it sounds better, and you have better control. You can't give me a really good reason why that's not a good idea. And what often happens with people, I don't know about any of you, but what often happens, people that play with a lot of reed in their mouth, especially if they're kind of artistically minded, they kind of know instinctively that if they blow a lot of air, it's going to sound bad. So they just don't blow. So instead of, they don't want to sound like this, so they just don't blow, because they know as soon as they blow, it'll sound bad. You see what I mean? So you want to have a system, a setup, where you can really blow full bore and have it not sound bad. You know what I mean? And I think, the only way I know to do that is with less reading. So, let's do that little bit at a time. Okay, so you're blipping a little bit. You hear the blips? Mm-hmm. What notes are blipping?
The F sharp today.
F sharp today. Okay. So you're blipping F sharp today. What do? One thing you can do is say stop blipping, which sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. But what I find often is helpful is to figure out what's blipping. Okay, so you're going F sharp to A. The reason it's hard, anybody who's not an oboe player, is because you're lifting up two fingers at the same time, and the keys have different resistance. This key tends to be easier, this key tends to be more resistant. So when you lift it up at the same time, it's very easy to lift one up slightly sooner than the other. So if you're playing, if you lift this one up first, you have a G blip. Let's hear you do a G blip. Deliberate G blip. No, I want you to. No, you should again. 3 in a row. 3 G blips. There you go. Now if you lift this one up, you get a B flat blip. Right? Let's hear a B flat blip. Okay, now we're gonna alternate. We're gonna do 3 G blips and 3 B flat blips. G blip, B flat blip, no blip, like this. Wait, you make me look very smart. That was really good. That was really good. So, why did that work? When she couldn't play it before without blipping, now she can. I think it's suddenly she became completely aware of what her fingers were doing and aware of the imperfections so it's not just this unconscious, imprecise habit, but it's kind of deliberate. And it's amazing how that can work. So let's try that once. So let's play the cadenza again. Okay, so the A F sharp blip was better with the other, then you had a different one. But I would say you're practicing it too fast. Just can you play? That sounded really clean. That's still really clean. Okay, try the cadenza again. That's better. That's better. I think it still needs a little bit of drilling, but that's better. Okay. Now. Okay. Let's just. Somebody. Is that your teacher a question?
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with that. So it's like you have these three kind of. And one thing the oboe can do so well is sonically embrace the audience. So I think you have three up questions, and then you have to embrace the audience. You know. Can you do that? That's good. That's good. Okay, go on. That's very good. So here's a general rule of thumb. And one thing about my rules of thumb is that it's never always. There are exceptions here all over the place. But a general rule, and that is when you have a tie, sing across the tie. That works much more often than it doesn't. For example, I think it's better to sing across the tie. Often there's a key change across the tie and some kind of harmony change, and singing across the harmony change really is really effective. You have a bunch of them here that you could have sang more across. That one. Just try one more time. That's great. What do you think?
Yeah.
Good work? And that time your little rubato, you did a little more subtly. I liked it more subtly. I think if you do something like that, it's not indicated in the part. It is a different key, a different color. I think it shouldn't be. That if at first it just seemed a little too obvious, it seems like somebody told you to slow there. Whereas that last time you did slow there, but it just seemed kind of organic. So I thought that was good. I thought it really was. Okay, thank you.
Thank
Well done.